there, my friends. This is a Water Break Wednesday presented by Crown Royal. My name's Drew Dougherty, and my good friend Deepi Sidhu is joining us, and we are here to answer your questions. So please send them in via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever else, and tell us where you're sending these questions from. I know I shouldn't have finished that sentence, Deepi, with a preposition, but nevertheless, it's good to be with you, and it's good to be with all these Texans fans out there around the world.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And might I say, your office decor gets better and better every single week. Like, the holiday lights need to stay up year round. I mean, I normally don't say that, but I think for your office and Westheimer, the answer is yes.
Okay, well, to give folks out there that don't know a little peek behind the proverbial curtain, normally I just have the overhead ultraviolet lights on. I'm a very standard type of dude. But Deepi and the rest of these creatives that I work with, they all have those overheads off, and they have like lamps and candles and stuff. So it's very dark in there. But yeah, I might give that a whirl and try that as things progress. And say, since we're on the subject of Christmas, Deepi, we're going to start with one from Joseph. And Joseph asks, what is your favorite Christmas movie? My favorite is It's a Wonderful Life. And I've got a few others, but Deepi, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie is Love Actually. So for the rom-com fans out there, I just, Hugh Grant.
Yep.
And all the different storylines, heartwarming, love it. Every time it's on, it could be July, I will watch Love Actually. But also A Christmas Story, because I grew up in Indiana and little Ralphie grew up in Indiana. And now that they have the marathons, I like it less because it was just an event when it would come on every year on Thanksgiving. And now it's just like, oh God, this again. So
yeah. Also,
Love Actually is my first though.
Love Actually. Okay. That's a good one. I like that. I also have Elf. I have Christmas Vacation and Die Hard. And I'm missing, what am I missing? One other that's not in there.
You're going to win a lot of fans by saying Die Hard. This is,
it's a Christmas movie. Yeah. Happens on Christmas and Christmas Eve.
Yes.
But yeah, like we said, send us your questions about the Texans, about Christmas, about whatever. You know, the guys are practicing right now at the Houston Methodist Training Center across the street from the stadium. They're getting ready for the Indianapolis Colts. Just saw that team, 10 days ago? They were on the doorstep, knocking for a victory, and that snap went, awry. And the Colts pounced on it, ran out the clock. But that was a dagger, not much fun. And Thomas has a question. What update do you have on the head coach GM search? You know, you've seen the media reports. There's people who are interviewing for the GM job, and they're pretty prominent. Haven't seen them in the building, but, I don't have eyes and ears everywhere on this building, so that doesn't mean anything. But the Texans are searching. They've got advisors helping Cal McNair out as well, with kind of like the blueprint for what the Texans should look for in a franchise and look for in leadership. Some of those names on that blueprint or on that advisor committee are Rod Graves. He was the GM for a decade for the Cardinals. He's also from the city of Houston. Then you got guys like Tony Dungy, Jimmy Johnson. They won Super Bowls as head coaches in the NFL. Also Andre Johnson. And then kind of like an outsider perspective, R.C. Buford from the San Antonio Spurs won 4 titles as their GM. So Deepi, they're very active and they're getting after it and they're interviewing folks as we speak, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just in the building, in and out. I'm shooting shows, and I always have my eyes peeled to see who's walking in and who's walking out. And then I remembered back in 2013 when the Texans were going through this before, I never saw Bill O'Brien in the building when the Texans hired him, and we weren't going through a pandemic then. So it's very possible these meetings might be taking place over Zoom, or they may be there after hours, or it may be at someone's house or residence, just because it is such an important interview. You want to spend a lot of time, and now with social distancing, maybe you want to have a little bit of distance too when you're conducting these interviews. You don't want to be stuck in an office all day. But I don't remember seeing any searching candidates back then either. But maybe my timing was off, Drew. So I wouldn't anticipate us being able to fill anybody in on who we see in and out of the building. But nothing really to add other than I'm watching very closely too to the reports. I just don't think that we're going to have much to talk about until really after the season is over and playoffs are sort of winding down, because that's when the majority of the candidates will be free to interview.
No doubt. Patricia wants to know, when's the next game? It's Sunday. It's at Indianapolis. It's a noon kickoff. So make sure you're watching that one, Patricia. And we thank you for the question. Dory has this one.
And can I just say that if you don't have CBS, you can download the Houston Texans mobile app and watch it there. That just seems to be something that a lot of people are wondering these days, how to watch the game. So Sports Radio 610, Houston Texans mobile app, and CBS.
And you're set.
I don't know why.
Dory has this one. Should Deshaun Watson play the rest of the season? Good question. Romeo Cornell said Texans are playing to win. Deshaun Watson has said, I'm playing to win. I'm a competitor. Don't want to let my team down, my franchise down. So doesn't matter what we think, whether he should or should not. Those two guys are making the decisions, it looks like. And Deshaun Watson, from what we hear, is going to suit up and play.
Yeah, and I think it's a slippery slope. Romeo talked about this as well, that if you do bench Deshaun, what message does it send to the rest of your team or the rest of your really big key players? Like, do you bench J.J. Watt? Do you sit Laramie Tunsil? Do you sit, who do you sit and who do you not sit? So once you kind of go down that path, you have to really explore it all the way. You can't just say, okay, this guy's important. The rest of you guys have a game to play. And I think Deshaun doesn't want to send that message to teammates as well. But at the same time, in that Chicago game, he did get hit a lot. And when he went down with the banged up elbow, I know collectively we all sort of gasped. So I think they will talk to him about protecting himself a little bit better and staying out of harm's way in these next 3 games. But at the end of the day, he's going to play the game the only way that he knows how. So I mean, I think it's something to watch. I think it's going to depend on the situation. It's going to depend on the flow of the game and how the games are going. But I don't see them just saying, okay, Deshaun's done for the year. No way, that's not happening.
Next question comes from William, and he's asking about William. William wants to know, will the Texans bring back Will Fuller V next season? Great question. And
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Don't know what the market's going to be like. I know there's going to be teams interested in him, but how much are they willing to pay Will Fuller, given his injury history, given the fact that he is suspended or was suspended for the last 6 games of this year? So we'll see. I don't know, but I know the Texans, I know Deshaun Watson loves playing with Will Fuller, loves what he does for this offense. He's a touchdown maker. When he's in the game, he was enjoying the finest season of his career. He is a number 1 receiver. There's no doubt about that. Just hasn't been able to complete an NFL season really since his rookie year, which was 2016. So we'll see, but I'd love to see him back here. I know I'm not in the minority there, but I'd love to see him.
And you know what? We've gotten to know Will since his rookie season. He's just such a quiet, soft-spoken, nice guy to get to know. You want to see him do well. It is so unfortunate with the suspension. He was having such a great year. I think, he would have been named to a Pro Bowl, maybe even named, in consideration for being All-Pro. He was just having that type of year. So you definitely want to see him come back and build on it. And also, you just don't have your 1st and 2nd round draft picks. So, you're not going to get a guy that's going to replace Will Fuller right off the bat. You already lost DeAndre Hopkins last offseason. So you want to see that you want to sort of have that offense see the same success it saw this year and just build on it next year. You don't want to lose any more pieces. But yeah, we would love to see him. Unfortunately, that's not really going to be our decision to make.
Yeah. Breacher on YouTube has this. Do the Texans still have a chance to make the playoffs? Yes, but it's going to be in 2021. So they don't have a chance to make the 2020 playoffs.
That's such a tease of an answer, Drew.
Well, that's the type of guy I can be.
What he's asking.
No, Breacher, the postseason chances for this season finished. After that loss on Sunday, mathematically eliminated. Jessica wants to know, do you expect J.J. Watt to be on the team next season? Jessica, he's under contract. And this team, I don't think is a better team without J.J. Watt on its defense. He's been the best player on defense this year. Obviously the best defensive player in franchise history. I don't want him to go, but you never know what happens with new ownership, new leadership at the GM and head coach position. But I imagine they're going to want to keep him around. We'll see what happens, but he's under contract with the Texans.
This is the question that I get asked the most these days, Drew. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm out and about, everyone wants to know, is J.J. Watt going to be on this team next year? And it's really, you're right. I mean, it just depends on this new head coach and general manager because we don't know what their vision is going to be for the team. But you already have a defense that you need to build on it. And J.J. Watt is arguably the best player on defense right now that's out there. He's looking like what he looked like before he suffered all those injuries, which is tremendous in itself, not to mention that he's in year 10. So I hope J.J. Watt's back. We've all seen what he's done for this city, for this community, for this team, for this locker room. And I just think it would be a big gaping hole if he wasn't here, didn't retire a Texan. So, that remains to be seen. But I think that if they can keep J.J. Watt here, obviously, that's the first choice. Why you wouldn't think of anything else? Yeah, it's a popular question.
It is, and it's a valid question. And I don't think we answered it really.
No, we didn't.
But
because we don't know the answer.
Yeah, nobody has that answer right now.
We don't have the answer.
Yeah, that's what many of these.
We're just talking. We're talking through our thoughts, which sometimes is okay.
And I love talking through my thoughts with you, Deepi. We have a good time when we do these
We do.
Water Break Wednesdays presented by Crown Royal. That's going to do it for this one. We appreciate all you watching as we creep closer to Christmas. We're going to do another one of these next week. It'll be December 23rd. That's one of my favorite days of the year, the 23rd and the 24th. And of course, Christmas Day, but
the 23rd.
Anticipation building up to it. I love those 2 days, don't you?
Yeah, that's interesting that you say 23rd. It's like sort of the calm before the storm. Is that why you like it so?
Yeah, sort of. I love this time of year as the lights behind me and the stupid red tie, red shirt come.
Well, I like your decor. I like that we get to see people's festive sides for sure.
I appreciate that. You have a nice setup as well. Hey, this wouldn't have been possible without a lot of folks helping us out. First and foremost, you all watching. We appreciate that and sending in questions. But also Tyler Marcotte, Amanda Caffey, and the great Andrew Temperley. Thank you to all you guys and gals put this together. We will do this again next week, like we mentioned, on the 23rd. Until then, beat the Colts. Go Texans.